Greetings, YouTube. This is Rhett at Rolling Forward. And today's episode, continuing with Rancho Los Amigos Hospital, Rancho Los Amigos Rehabilitation Center. Did my friends visit me while I was in the hospital? Well, I've spoken a little bit in earlier episodes. When I was initially injured, I was in a hospital located about 70 miles from my home, my high school, my friends, so forth. Well, I had a large number of visitors with some regularity for the first, weeks of my hospitalization. It was 70 miles, not an undrivable distance, but a significant difference to go to visit somebody in the hospital and then turn around and do it again. High school life is full of drama, which takes up a lot of time. So a lot of people came repeatedly, and it was much appreciated. After moving to Rancho, that was only about 30 miles from my home and my high school. So it was a much easier drive, a much more doable round trip. And yet, friends came and eventually tapered off. It so happened that just a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, 2 weeks, after my arrival at Rancho, it was my birthday. It was my 16th birthday. And on that weekend, probably 20, 30, maybe a little more than 30 people came out late morning, midday, to have a birthday gathering, which we did. I was just being transferred from the bed into my wheelchair when the first people started arriving, and they wandered into my room at Rancho, which was all fine visitor behavior. And it so happened that as I was being transferred, again, I was somewhat taller than the average patient, the average person. And as the Rancho staff was lowering me into my wheelchair, the sling came out from under my butt because I was kind of tall, and I began to slide rapidly to the floor to an unappreciative audience of 6 or 8 or 10 high school friends who were aghast at what was happening. A couple of them, they were athletic friends of mine that I met through high school sports. They ran up and grabbed me and easily manhandled me back into the chair. It was fortunate for me that they were there. It was, for me, a very embarrassing start to my birthday celebration. So I get in my chair, get a shirt on. I'm dressed in LA County Hospital khakis and plain t-shirt. I was plain button-up shirt. And got in the chair and ready, went down the hallway to the solarium, which was a rather unfortunate title, in my opinion, since I didn't feel like I was a Northern England retiree quite yet. But there was a crowd there, a big cake, chips, dip, the usual. And it was an odd visit. I was ashamed, embarrassed for many of the people. For some of my closer friends, not so much, but also not ready for a lot of talking and small talk yet. I was emotionally insecure, to say the least. a lot of people, most people said, all right, keep getting better. We'll see you soon. We'll be surfing on the beach. Um, you know, get better. We'll see you. And kind of, yeah, sure, okay. Not much of a fun kind of visit. And unsurprisingly, over coming weeks and months, uh, the number of people who, from my high school, who came to visit shrunk rapidly. I don't blame them a bit. I was no fun to visit. Um, of course, a very few of my closest friends did continue, not frequently, but regularly, um, for which I was grateful. Um, Unfortunately, more grateful after the fact than at the time. I also began to hear from friends who visited me about people who, upon visiting me and leaving, were shocked by my appearance, uh, freaked out, many of them, um, disheartened, and so forth, and who said that they would never want to see me again as I was then. And, you know, I had lost 50 pounds in a month and a half. I had a pretty ugly rash, looked like an acne outbreak, which it could have been, on my chest and shoulders. Never had such a thing before. I didn't look very good. Uh, so I could see how it would be somewhat taken aback by the scene. And so anyway, I don't really, I don't operate like if I see something, well, icky, it doesn't like make me not want to see it. It makes me curious. Well, other people are, forget this, I don't want to see someone who I like, presumably, looks so bad. Well, anyway, that's part of the whole scene um, of my new life. Well, I spoke somewhat last time about the initial uh, days and appointments and the responsibilities of going to appointments regularly and on time, and that as my abilities and the ability to sit in a wheelchair rather than only a gurney uh, progressed, I became almost busy. I say almost busy. I had some appointments every day, but they only took 60 to 90 minutes. Throw in another 10 minutes for transportation to and from. And I had some free time. And so as I was doing more appointments, as I was learning more and understanding more, as I was meeting other patients, my roommates, as well as other people on the ward, uh, became social with them, talking about what the hell are we going to do with our lives? What's going to happen? What are we going to do now? What future is there for us? And all of us, almost, were new injuries who didn't know what the hell we were going to be doing for the rest of our lives, as if any teenager knows anyway. Um, Most of the people were, of course, older than I am. I was. I was 15, 16 at the time. Most people were in their 20s and early 30s. Uh, and sharing these fears, that's a part of the rehab process, and in my opinion, a good and natural and necessary part of changing your orientation, making decisions to move forward or to give it up. Kind of dramatic, but kind of real too. So, uh, as the wee hours of the night and the mornings would leave you to think about and contemplate what appeared to be a dismal future in a fog of unknowing, not knowing, and impossible to know outcomes and future. Uh, day by day, rehab progressed. I became slightly stronger in those muscles, few muscles that I had, and I became more involved with my rehab, and I'll give some more specific examples in upcoming videos. And so for now, YouTube, I want to say thank you for watching. Please do subscribe. Please do click like. Thank you very much, and ciao.